When I was a kid growing up, I came from a home where my parents weren't really around. My mother was into drugs pretty heavy, and my dad drank alcohol, and he wasn't really around as much either. When I was around 11 or 12 years old, I ended up living with my grandparents. And as far as God goes, during that time, I didn't really know who God or Jesus was. Fast forward, when I was about 14 years old, my grandmother passed away of cancer. It was devastating to me because she was like the mom I knew. After that, about a year and a half, my grandfather passed away at my baseball game. I played baseball growing up, and at my baseball game, he passed away as well of a heart attack. At that point, that's when I hated God. I hated Jesus. I didn't believe in any of it because only thing I could keep telling myself is, how can God take the people who were basically my parent figures in my life away from me? And I just couldn't understand it. I'm Joel Shaffer, and this is a story of grace. I had one of my best friends. His parents stepped up, and I ended up living with them. They actually adopted me, and I have their last name. And all during this time, my parents still were kind of in and out. Sometimes I would talk to them. Sometimes there would be years go by where I wouldn't hear from them, and sometimes they would come into my life at different times, just out of nowhere. And then I flash forward to 2009. I had my first child, Carson. Something hit me, like out of a feeling that everybody knows as kids you can't explain, but to me, I knew I was having my first child, but I didn't know if I knew how to be a dad, or if was I going to be a good dad, or how do I do this. When I was about to have my son, we ended up moving to a neighborhood across the street from Christ Church. God's telling me, look, I put you across the street from a church. Why don't you at least give me a try? There was a guy by the name of Jason who was preaching there. Everything the guy, when I came in, I just related to everything he would say. And he just spoke the word to me in a way that I never could relate to before. I got a relationship with him the day that I was told I was going to be a dad, and the day I stepped into Christ Church. That's when I had a relationship with God. And every day since, I see God's plans. I feel His presence. When I developed my relationship with Jesus and I started to listen and actually take in the Word, that's really when my relationship kind of changed, as far as me internally, just giving my mom, not judging my mom of things that have happened, and just not holding any type of ill feelings towards her. And it wasn't ever my right to judge my mom. And it was my relationship with Jesus that really gave me a peace. It really was something that just helped me out. I don't know how my mom felt about it, but I know internally for me, offering that grace and that type of forgiveness helped me in my life exponentially. We're here to give other people grace because we're all walking this journey together. Now every day, I wake up still with that grace ever since I met Jesus and developed that relationship. I know there's people out there that are holding on to different things in their life, and somebody might have done them wrong. The one thing I would tell you is, if you really are a Christ follower and you really want to kind of walk in the way Jesus walked and live the way Jesus lived, then I say to you, give that person, that situation, offer that individual, whatever it is, offer them grace. For you, offer grace to that individual or situation and watch your life change. When I look back on it during the time, where I always would think like, why me? Why me? And then now I look back on it and think, why not me? And I'm blessed that it was me, because hopefully my story helps somebody else in this world, and that would be the biggest blessing that I could ever hope for. And I know God would want that too.